Confession is the first step to unraveling the truth, but some secrets fight to stay buried. Subscribe to Tears and Truth for stories that blur the line between guilt and justice. The story begins. August 12th, 2023. A moonlit beach in Crescent Cove, Oregon. 5 friends, 1 bonfire, and a disappearance that would fracture their lives forever. The Pacific roared like a living thing that night, its waves clawing at the shore as if warning us to leave. But we didn't listen. We never did. Crescent Cove was our place. A jagged stretch of coastline hidden behind pines, where locals partied when they wanted to forget. That's what we were doing. Forgetting. Forgetting finals. Forgetting breakups. Forgetting the text Lily had gotten that morning from an unknown number. "Don't go to the beach tonight." She'd laughed it off, waving her phone like a trophy. "Probably Jason messing with me," she'd said. Jason, her ex, who'd ghosted her 3 months prior. The guy none of us had seen since. But Lily was always the reckless one. The one who'd dare you to swim farther, drink harder, stay later. So when she shoved a tequila bottle into my hands and shouted, "Midnight swim, let's go," I followed. We all did. There were 5 of us. Lily, 22, all wildfire curls and bitten nails, the ringleader. Mac, 23, her twin brother, quiet, always filming everything on his camcorder. Ava, 21, my girlfriend, pragmatic, already counting the minutes till sunrise. Derek, 24, Mac's roommate, a former frat star with a fading tan and a secret Zoloft prescription. And me, Finn, 22, the designated driver who'd had one too many seltzers. The bonfire crackled, painting our faces orange. Mac's camcorder light hovered like a specter as he filmed Lily dancing barefoot in the sand, her laughter sharp enough to cut glass. "This is gonna break the internet," he muttered, zooming in. Ava nudged me. "We should leave by 1 a.m. tides coming in." But Lily heard. "Boo. Live a little, Ava." She grabbed Derek's hand, pulling him toward the water. "Last one in buys breakfast." Derek hesitated. He'd been off all night, jumpy, checking his phone. But Lily yanked him forward, and soon they were sprinting into the surf, screaming as the icy waves hit their knees. That's when the fog rolled in, thick, fast, swallowing the moon. 1 minute, Lily was waist deep, shrieking as Derek dunked her. The next, the mist swallowed them whole. "Lily!" Mac shouted, camcorder still running. No answer, just the shhh of the ocean. Ava grabbed my arm. "Finn, something's wrong." We waded into the water, calling their names. The fog was unnatural. Dense, cold, smelling of brine and something metallic. When it finally lifted, Derek stumbled out alone, soaked and trembling. "Where's Lily?" Mac shook him. Derek's voice broke. She let go. I tried to hold on, but she let go. Then something pulled her. Ava called 911. Mac rewound his camcorder, the screen glitching as he replayed the last minutes. Lily's silhouette, backlit by the bonfire, wading deeper, then static. The police found nothing. No body, no drag marks, just Lily's flip-flop half buried in the sand, and Derek's hollow stare as he whispered, "It wasn't my fault." But the camcorder, the static had caught audio. A woman's voice, faint, beneath the white noise. "You shouldn't have come." The police called it an accident, a riptide, a tragedy. But we knew better. Crescent Cove's sheriff, a gruff man with salt and pepper stubble, dismissed the voice on the camcorder as interference. He didn't care that Lily's phone was found in the dunes the next morning, sand-scratched but still playing that text on loop. "Don't go to the beach tonight." He didn't care that Jason had an alibi. His Instagram showed him at a club in Portland, 100 miles away, at the exact time Lily disappeared. But we cared. We gathered at Mac's apartment 3 days later, the air thick with unspoken accusations. Derek hadn't slept. His eyes were bloodshot, his hands shaking as he scrolled through Lily's TikTok feed. "She posted this the day before," he said, thrusting his phone at us. The video showed Lily lip-syncing to Lana Del Rey on the same beach. The caption, "Midnight Sins coming soon kiss mark." Ava froze the frame. What's that behind her? In the distant waves, barely visible, was a shadow, a human-shaped silhouette, waist-deep, facing the shore. Probably a surfer, Max said, but his voice wavered. No one surfs at night here, I muttered. The cove's riptides were infamous. Locals called it the Widowmaker. Derek stood abruptly, knocking over his coffee. I'm done. This is bullshit. She's gone. And we're sitting here watching TikToks like you didn't let her go, Mac hissed. The room went cold. Ava stepped between them. Stop. This isn't helping. But Mac lunged at Derek, grabbing his collar. You were the last one with her. What really happened out there? Derek shoved him back, tears in his eyes. I told you. She smiled at me, like she wanted to disappear. Then something grabbed her ankle. I felt it. Ava pulled up the camcorder footage on her laptop, zooming in on the static-filled seconds after the fog swallowed Lily. There's something else, she said. I cleaned up the audio. She hit play. The white noise sharpened into a low, wet gurgle, like someone choking on seawater, followed by a distorted whisper. 7 years, Mac paled. 7 years ago. The Celia. The Celia was a fishing boat that vanished off Crescent Cove in 2016. All hands lost. No wreckage. Just a Coast Guard report blaming human error. Local conspiracy forums swore it was cursed. My dad worked the search, Max said quietly. He told me they found one life jacket washed up a week later. It had teeth marks. Derek gagged, sprinting to the bathroom. Ava frowned. You think this is connected? I think we're being punished, Max said, staring at the frozen image of Lily's TikTok shadow. We went back to the beach that night. Not to party. To dig. Ava had spent hours researching the Celia and found an old Reddit thread by a retired fisherman. They're still out there. The cove doesn't let go. The comments mentioned a tradition, leaving offerings in the sand to appease whatever lurked offshore. We need to find what Lily took, Ava said, clutching a shovel. Took? She didn't take anything, I said. You sure? Ava pulled up a photo from Lily's Instagram. 3 days before she vanished, she'd posted a selfie with a caption. Finders keepers water wave. In her hand was a tarnished silver locket, seaweed tangled in its chain. The locket wasn't in her apartment, not in her car, not on the beach. We dug where the bonfire had been. The sand still charred. Derek found it first. A flash of silver beneath a half-buried beer can. The locket was ice cold, its clasp rusted shut. Mac pried it open with a pocket knife. Inside were 2 faded photos. A young woman in a 1940s swimsuit and a man in a naval uniform. Engraved on the back were the initials CM. Celia Marlowe, Ava breathed. The Celia was named after the captain's wife. She drowned in 1942. They say he sailed out to find her and never came back. A gust of wind snuffed out our flashlights. Then we heard it. A low, wet laugh, rolling in with the tide. Derek bolted. Mac chased him, shouting, You know something? Tell me. Ava and I stayed, transfixed, as the fog thickened again. And in the mist, a figure emerged, pale, dripping hair tangled with seaweed. Lily. She reached toward us, her mouth moving silently, eyes black as the deep. Then she was gone. Derek didn't come back. Mac found him an hour later, kneeling in the tide, screaming at the ocean. His hands were raw, nails torn from clawing at the sand. She's underneath, he babbled. I heard her scratching. We dragged him to the car, the locket burning a hole in my pocket. By dawn, Derek was hospitalized, sedated, diagnosed with acute psychosis. The doctors blamed stress. We blamed the locket. Back at my apartment, Ava and Mac crowded around my kitchen table as I forced the locket open again. The photos of Celia Marlowe and her husband stared up, their faces warped by water damage. But there was something new, a third layer beneath the images. A slip of yellowed paper, folded tight, the ink smudged but legible. "Forgive me, Celia. I never meant to let go. Elias Marlowe," Ava said, her fingers flying across her laptop. "Captain of the Celia. Disappeared in 1942 after his wife's death. But look at this." She turned the screen. A scanned newspaper headline from 1946. "Local teen vanishes during midnight beach party. Friends claim she walked into the fog." "It's happened before," Mac whispered. Ava nodded. "And not just once. Every 7 years. 1946, 1953, 1960. All the way to 2016, the Celia crew. Now 2023. Lily." The room tilted. 7-year cycles. Sacrifices. A debt unpaid. Elias Marlowe's note. "I never meant to let go," I said. What if he couldn't save Celia? And now, he's trapped, trying to replace her. Mac slammed his fist on the table. "We're giving the locket back. Tonight." Crescent Cove was desolate under the storm-heavy sky. No bonfire, no laughter. Just the three of us, the locket, and a sickening sense of being watched. Ava waded into the surf, the water licking her knees. "Celia Marlowe," she shouted. "We're returning what was taken." She hurled the locket into the waves. For a heartbeat, nothing. Then the ocean hissed, the water erupted, a geyser of foam and seaweed blasting upward. Inside it, a figure. A woman in a tattered 1940s swimsuit, her skin bloated, hair alive with crabs. "Celia." She lunged at Ava, skeletal hands snatching her wrists. "Finn!" Ava screamed. I plunged into the surf, grabbing her waist, but the thing was impossibly strong. Mac tackled Celia from the side, and she dissolved into the waves, leaving us gasping on shore. Ava's wrists were ringed with black bruises, finger-shaped and freezing. "It's not enough," she panted. "She doesn't want the locket. She wants us." Derek called me at 3 a.m., his voice slurred from meds. "I lied," he said. "Lily didn't just find the locket. She took it from Jason's room. After they broke up, my blood turned to ice." "Why?" "She thought it was proof he cheated. There's a photo inside Jason's grandma or some shit. But when she opened it, the pictures changed. Became those old-timey people. She thought it was a prank." He broke into sobs. "It's my fault. I told her to keep it. I said it'd piss him off. Where's Jason now?" "Gone. Moved to Idaho after the breakup." "But Finn." "Jason's last name is Marlowe. We met Jason at a roadside diner 20 miles inland, the only spot with cell service. He looked older, his face gaunt, a crucifix peeking from his collar. I tried to warn her," he said, stirring cold coffee. "The locket's been in my family for generations. Everyone who touches it dies. My granddad drowned in '89. My mom, she walked into the ocean when I was 10. Same night Lily took it, I got this." He slid his phone across the table. A text from an unknown number. "She's mine now. Why didn't you stop her?" Max snarled. Jason's eyes filled with tears. "I did. I texted her that night, don't go to the beach. She thought it was a joke. And after she vanished, it started calling me. Celia. She said Lily wasn't enough. She wants bloodline." He gripped the crucifix. "Me." Ava leaned forward. "How do we end this?" Jason's whisper was barely audible. "You drown the anchor." Back at the cove, the storm raged. "We'd need to lure Celia, trade Jason for Lily. A life for a life," but as we unloaded ropes and chains from my trunk, Mac froze. "Where's Ava?" She stood knee-deep in the water, facing the horizon, motionless. "Ava? Get out!" I screamed. She turned, her eyes milky white. "It's too late," she said in a voice that wasn't hers. "He's here." Behind her, rising from the waves, was Elias Marlowe, a corpse in a captain's coat, his jaw unhinged, eels writhing in his ribcage, and chained to his waist, glowing faintly blue, was Lily. Lily's body was translucent, seaweed coiled around her legs. Her mouth stretched in a silent scream. Elias pointed a barnacle-encrusted finger at Jason. Mine, he gurgled. Jason collapsed, begging, I'm sorry. Please. But Elias was already moving, dragging Lily toward the depths. Mac charged into the water, a rusted chain in hand. Let her go. He lashed it around Elias's ankle. The corpse howled, thrashing, but Mac held fast. Finn, now. I tackled Jason, wrestling him toward the surf. He fought, clawing, but Ava, still eerily calm, grabbed his legs. For Lily, she said. The water hit Jason's chest, and Elias froze, his hollow eyes fixated on his descendant. Blood pays the debt, he rasped. Take him. Mac yelled. Take Jason and give us Lily. Elias's hand snapped around Jason's throat. Lily's chains fell away, her body dissolving into foam. Jason's scream was cut short as Elias yanked him under. The ocean stilled. Ava gasped, her eyes clearing. Mac slumped in the shallows, the chain limp. I stared at the horizon, waiting. Then a hand broke the surface. Lily's hand. She crawled onto the sand, coughing, alive. We collapsed around her, sobbing, as the first rays of sun split the clouds. The police called it a miracle. Jason's body washed up 2 days later, the crucifix still in his fist. We didn't tell them about Elias. Or the locket. Or the whispers we still heard in our dreams. Lily quit drinking. Mac stopped filming. Ava and I moved inland. But last night, as I packed for the move, I found the locket in my sock drawer. It shouldn't exist, we'd thrown it into the ocean. Yet there it was, gleaming, the photos inside replaced. Now it's me, Ava, Mac, Lily, and Jason, smiling from beyond the grave.